Hey friends, welcome back to another episode of the Easy English Listening Zone. If you're tuning in while making breakfast, taking a walk, or maybe just lying in bed trying to start the day slowly, we're happy you're here. I'm Emma.
And I'm Ethan. And wow, it feels really good to have you with us again. Whether you're a brand new listener or someone who's been with us for a long time, genuinely thank you. Today's episode is a special one. It's something we all deal with, no matter where we're from, what language we speak, or what goals we're chasing.
Absolutely. And before we jump in, Ethan, I want to ask you something. And whoever's listening, you can ask yourself this too. What's the one skill that tends to decide whether we succeed or fail in learning English, staying healthy, working on our dreams, or honestly, anything in life?
You're setting me up here. But yeah, I think most of us know the answer deep down. Self-discipline. It's not flashy, it's not exciting, but it's the quiet force that keeps us moving when motivation disappears.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I've been struggling with it lately. Like really struggling. I've set a few personal goals over the last couple of months, and no matter how excited I was in the beginning, I've been slipping. A lot.
Oh, I get that. And I'm sure so many of our listeners get it too. We have these amazing dreams, right? Goals that feel so clear and exciting in our heads. But turning that excitement into daily action, that's where we fall apart. What happened, Em? What's been tough for you?
Okay, true confession time. I've been trying to exercise more, but every time I put on my workout clothes, Netflix is like, hey, remember me? And then I'm suddenly 5 episodes deep into a show I've already watched twice. And I keep telling myself, I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes.
Oh, the famous all start tomorrow trap. I think every human on the planet knows that one. And that's exactly why today we're having this conversation, because self-discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about learning how to keep going even when everything inside you wants the easy way out.
So here's what we're going to do today. We'll break down what self-discipline really is, why it matters, and how we can build it step by step, without burning out, without guilt, and without beating ourselves up.
And don't worry, we're going to keep this super practical. Real tips, real stories, real emotions. Because discipline isn't just a mind thing. It's a heart thing too.
Exactly. And as always, we've prepared a free PDF that goes along with this episode. It has vocabulary, exercises, reflection questions. You can download it anytime and keep practicing your English and your discipline at the same time.
Plus, later on, Charlotte will join us to break down some intermediate vocabulary we'll use today. So stay with us all the way until the end.
You know, when people talk about discipline, they imagine these huge, intense routines. Wake up at 5 a.m., go to the gym for 2 hours, study English for 3 hours daily. But that's not discipline. That's a recipe for burnout.
Exactly. The truth is, real discipline starts small, tiny. So tiny it almost feels silly.
Every January, I set massive goals, like I'm going to work out an hour every single day. And by mid-January, I'm exhausted, frustrated, and ready to give up because the pressure is too heavy. And honestly, I think many listeners feel the same way.
We all do. But when you start tiny, like 5 minutes of exercise, your brain doesn't panic. It doesn't resist. It says, okay, I can do 5 minutes. And that's where the magic happens.
Yep, just like with English. Maybe you can't study for an hour every night after work, and that's okay. But 5 minutes? 5 minutes of reading or listening to this podcast or learning one new word? That is discipline. That is consistency.
Small steps compound, like interest in a bank. Little things grow into big things if you stay consistent.
When habits are tiny, they're friendly, not scary. And that little friendliness is what keeps you going.
People love goals.
I want to lose 30 pounds. I want to speak English fluently this year. I want to save $10,000. But without a system, a goal is like a car with no engine. It looks nice, but it doesn't go anywhere.
I learned this the hard way. I would set a massive goal, get excited, try my best for a week, and then feel crushed when I didn't see fast results. And once discouragement hits, goodbye motivation.
That's why systems matter. A system is just a daily routine that moves you slowly towards your goal. Not fast, not perfectly, just consistently.
Like, instead of saying, I want to be fluent in English, you say, I'm going to listen to 10 minutes of English every morning while I make coffee. That's a system, and systems make discipline automatic.
You stop depending on motivation. Instead, you depend on rhythm.
And rhythm is easier to keep than motivation.
Want to know a secret? Discipline becomes almost effortless when the habit itself becomes enjoyable.
Exactly. I used to hate working out, truly. But then I started watching stand-up comedy while stretching. Suddenly, it didn't feel like punishment anymore. It felt like a little me time.
Same goes for English. If you force yourself to study from a boring textbook every night, of course you'll lose discipline. But if you watch a show you love in English, or listen to a juicy podcast, or treat yourself after finishing a session, your brain starts looking forward to it.
It's like bribing yourself, but in a healthy way.
Exactly. Your brain loves rewards. Pair the habit with something enjoyable, and discipline becomes so much easier.
So in part 2, we'll go deeper into environment design, managing willpower, using accountability, and how to stay disciplined even on your bad days. If you think part 1 was helpful, part 2 is where things really start clicking.
But before we move on, take a breath. Seriously, right now. Inhale. Exhale. You're doing great. Just by listening to this, you're already building the most important habit of all, showing up.
All right, welcome back everyone. If you listened to part 1, you already took an important first step, showing up. And that's something worth acknowledging. Discipline doesn't start with doing big things. It starts with simply being here, listening, caring enough to improve.
Exactly. And if you're still with us, it means something in you wants to grow. Something in you is tired of procrastinating, tired of feeling stuck, tired of relying on motivation that disappears whenever life gets messy. And today, part 2, we're going deeper. Because discipline is not just about habits. It's about shaping your world, your environment, your energy, and even the people around you.
Let me start with a truth that changed everything for me. Your environment shapes your behavior more than your willpower does.
Yes, and I think we often underestimate this. We think, oh, I just need to be stronger. Oh, I just need more motivation. But sometimes it's not about strength at all. It's about setting up your space so that the right choice becomes the easy choice.
Let me give you an example. When my desk is cluttered, when my phone is buzzing every 10 seconds, when snacks are within reach, my productivity drops instantly. I don't even choose to lose focus. My environment chooses for me.
Same here. A messy desk is like an invitation to distraction. A bag of chips next to me, yeah, discipline doesn't stand a chance. But when I design my environment intentionally, a clean desk, headphones ready, water next to me, my workout clothes laid out, everything feels easier, calmer, more possible.
And for all our English learners listening, this is crucial. If your English books are buried in a drawer, if your learning app is hidden on page 6 of your phone, if your headphones are always missing, you won't practice consistently.
Exactly. So make your environment your ally. Put your English book where you drink coffee. Place sticky notes with vocabulary on your mirror. Keep your podcast playlist ready. Leave your notebook open on your desk. You don't need more motivation. You need fewer obstacles.
Here's something people don't talk about enough. Willpower is limited. It runs out like a battery.
Yes, I used to think I just needed to try harder, but that mindset made me feel guilty when I exhausted myself. The truth is, by the end of the day, after work, after responsibilities, our brain has used up so much willpower that discipline becomes extremely difficult.
That's why doing important tasks early matters. For example, if English learning is important to you, try practicing when your energy is highest. Maybe that's morning. Maybe it's during lunch. Maybe it's right after a nap. Don't save the most important habits for the time when you're the most exhausted.
And it's not just time of day, it's your state, your emotional energy, physical energy, even your sleep. When you're tired, stressed, or overwhelmed, discipline becomes a fight you're probably going to lose.
Right, so instead of blaming yourself, adjust your strategy. Protect your mornings. Guard your focus. Don't overload yourself with unnecessary decisions. And speaking of decisions,
This one changed my life because every decision, even tiny ones, uses mental energy. What should I eat? When should I study? Which app should I use? Should I work out today or tomorrow? All these questions drain your discipline.
exactly. That's why successful people automate as much as possible. They choose once and then repeat.
For example, always exercise at the same time. Always study English right after breakfast. Always journal before bed. Always review vocabulary during your commute. When something becomes automatic, it no longer needs discipline. It becomes a rhythm.
And removing those small decisions frees your mind for the ones that really matter.
Okay, this one is powerful. And honestly, I think it's one of the biggest missing pieces in most people's discipline.
Totally agree. When someone else is checking in on you, someone cheering for you, supporting you, or even just asking how you're doing, your consistency skyrockets.
I feel this so deeply. Whenever I have a workout buddy, I never skip. But when I'm alone, suddenly everything becomes negotiable.
Yep, and for our listeners learning English, this is huge. If you have a study partner, a group chat, a language exchange friend, someone who asks, "Did you practice today?" it becomes so much harder to quit.
Because you're not just doing it for yourself anymore. You're showing up for someone who's showing up for you.
And that's one of the strongest forms of discipline.
Before we continue, I want you to check in with yourself. What part of this resonates with you the most? Environment, energy, decision fatigue, accountability? Whatever it is, hold on to it. That awareness alone is a step toward greater discipline.
And remember, discipline is not a personality trait. It's not something you either have or don't have. It's a skill, a muscle, a strategy, and you are already learning it.
In the final part, part 3, we will talk about the heart of discipline. How to stay consistent on the days when everything feels heavy. How to restart when you fall off track. And how to build a disciplined identity that lasts.
Yep, part 3 brings everything together. Mindset, emotion, resilience, and self-compassion. You don't want to miss it.
Welcome back, friends. If you've made it all the way to part 3, really, take a second to acknowledge yourself. Because listening to something that challenges you, something that asks you to grow, that's already a form of discipline. And it means you're ready for the deeper part of the journey.
Yes. And today, we're going to finish this conversation by talking about something that isn't always easy to admit. Discipline isn't just about action. It's about emotion. It's about identity. It's about the messy human part of us that wants to change, but also wants comfort. So today, we're talking about resilience, consistency, and restarting over and over without shame.
We all have those days. The days when everything feels heavy, when your body is tired, when your mind is loud, when the world feels like it's pushing against you rather than cheering for you. On those days, discipline doesn't feel like growth. It feels like a battle.
And that's exactly why we need to redefine discipline. It's not always intense. It's not always productive. Sometimes discipline is gentle. Sometimes discipline is saying, okay, today I don't have much to give, but I'll give what I can.
Yes, maybe you can't study English for 20 minutes, but you can listen for 3. Maybe you can't work out for 45 minutes, but you can stretch for 5. Maybe you can't read a full chapter, but you can read a paragraph. That's discipline, not perfection. Consistency, even in softness.
Because the truth is, the people who succeed aren't the ones who never struggle. They're the ones who refuse to quit completely. They bend, but they don't break.
Let's get this out of the way. You will fall off track. You will miss days. You will have weeks where life gets messy. You will forget your routine. You will lose motivation. And that doesn't mean you lack discipline. It means you're human.
Exactly. The real measure of discipline is not in how perfectly you follow a routine, but in how quickly you return after you fall.
Yes. Do you get back up the next day, or do you disappear for a month? That difference, that tiny moment of choosing to return, is what separates people who succeed from people who stay stuck.
So give yourself permission to restart, not with guilt, not with shame, but with curiosity. Ask yourself, what do I need right now to return? Not what did I do wrong? That shift changes everything.
This part, this is the heart of everything. If you only remember one thing from this entire podcast, let it be this. True discipline isn't built from force. It's built from identity.
Exactly. Because when you say things like, I'm trying to be disciplined, your brain thinks discipline is something outside of you, something you might have one day if you fight hard enough. But when you shift your identity to, I am someone who shows up, I am someone who keeps promises to myself, I am someone who moves in small steps, then discipline becomes natural. It becomes part of who you are.
Just like brushing your teeth. Just like locking your door. Just like saying thank you. You don't discipline yourself into doing those things. You simply do them because that's who you are.
Right. When you identify as a language learner, you practice. When you identify as a healthy person, you make healthier choices. When you identify as someone who follows through, you naturally follow through. Identity is the root. Habit is the fruit.
You know, so much of discipline comes down to one thing: self-respect. Not punishment, not shame, not pressure. Respect. Respecting your goals, respecting your time, respecting your future self.
Yes. When you choose discipline, you're saying, I believe I deserve better than the easy way out. I believe my future matters. I believe my potential is real. And that is powerful. Quiet. Not dramatic, but powerful.
And the more you practice discipline, even in tiny ways, the more your self-respect grows. And the more your self-respect grows, the easier discipline becomes. It's a beautiful circle, a gentle one,
a life-changing one.
Before we close this episode, I want to say something directly to you, the person listening right now. You are not behind. You are not weak. You are not bad at discipline. You are learning. You are growing. You are becoming. And the fact that you're still here, listening, reflecting, caring about your future, means you are already far more disciplined than you think.
Yes, you don't need to transform overnight. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to impress anyone. All you need is to keep showing up, even when it's small, even when it's imperfect, even when it's quiet. Discipline is not a loud change. It's a gentle whisper that says, "I'll try again today."
Thank you for spending this time with us. We hope you leave today feeling empowered, not pressured, but inspired.
And remember, small steps, gentle consistency, and the belief that you are capable of becoming someone stronger, more focused, and more confident.
We'll catch you in the next episode. Until then, take care of yourself and keep showing up.
Bye for now, friends. And remember, discipline grows from the small choices you make every single day. You've got this.